Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the City of Tempe Housing Authority meeting. Item number 2 is called to the audience. The Housing Authority Board welcomes public comment at this time only for items listed on this agenda. There is a 3-minute time limit per speaker. I do have one card this evening for the meeting, and that card is from Chloe, Kansas. Please come forward, state your name and city of residence. You have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Chloe, Kansas. I am a child care worker and ASU student here in Tempe, and I've come here to talk about Tempe City Code 2390, which outlaws urban camping, essentially making being homeless illegal here in the city of Tempe. And from what I've been told, you guys are allowed to answer questions in this meeting, which is different from the normal city council meeting called to audiences. And I want to ask, what's the point of having this law in the books, of continuing to have it on the books, when all it does is hurt our most vulnerable members of our community? I also think Prop 312 that activated this city code again, in Tempe, it got voted against. 55% of Tempe residents voted against it, that proposition, which I think speaks to their commitment to caring about the homeless community. So why continue to have this law?
Let me ask her, thank you for the question. Let me ask our city attorney. Mr. City Attorney, is this something that we're actually allowed to comment on? I should ask you.
Mayor, I don't believe so. I was just trying to pull up the agenda. Your discussions here are limited tonight to the agenda that's before you. I did not see that on the agenda when I reviewed it earlier. I think he's mistaken. It's different in this meeting because the public comment is limited to agenda items, whereas the public comment in your regular council meeting later is open for anything within the jurisdiction of the council. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right, well, don't answer that question then, I guess, if that's what you want to do. But
Well, it's not about what we want to do. It's the fact that we're not allowed to answer the question. It's not that we don't want to.
All right. Well, I'll keep listing facts off then until my time goes out. Making urban camping illegal makes it so that all around 200 homeless people here in around 200 homeless people live here in Tempe, estimated from polling and surveys and stuff like that. That means all 200 of those people potentially could be arrested, could go to jail. And instead of, just staying in jail for one night, the Tempe City Code puts them in jail for up to 6 months, which to put someone in the Maricopa County Jail, it costs $642 at intake to the taxpayer, and an additional $137 for every night that they spend in jail. That would total to $25,100 per homeless person that gets arrested for urban camping. All of that taxpayer money. That seems like a huge waste of city funds, and on top of it just being morally wrong. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, are there any more cards this evening for anything listed on the agenda? If so, please get my attention. Okay, seeing none, I'll close item number 2 and move on to item number 3, approval of City of Tempe Housing Authority meeting minutes from November 21st, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve the November 21st?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Hodge and seconded by Councilmember Adams. Please vote.
Yes.
And that item passes 7-0. The only item under Section 4 is 4A, which is the Tempe Housing Authority Governing Board Quarterly Update for the quarter ended December 31st, 2024. And I'll look to Irma Hollenby Kane, our Deputy Community Health and Human Services Director, for an update this evening. Good evening, Irma.
Good evening, Mayor, council members, Chief. All right, so my name is Irma Hollenby Kane, and I'm here on behalf of the Tempe Housing Authority to tell you what we've been up to for the last couple of months. Our work in housing services is directly aligned to these strategic priorities and associated performance measures as outlined on this slide. So last year, the Tempe Housing Authority administered over $14 million in housing assistance subsidies. This year, we're on track to administer around a little over $15 million. So housing voucher types are broken out on the slide that you see on your screen. All in, we have the capacity to assist 1,253 households with housing assistance. So the data over the next couple of slides is specific to Tempe Housing Authority's performance and is actual data as of October of 24. So as you know, HUD contracts with us with a budget amount called Budget Authority and with an allocation of vouchers, and we track our performance in both of these areas. So as for voucher performance or voucher allocation performance, if I could have your attention to the top right of the slide, Tempe has an allocation of 1,139 housing vouchers, and of those, 1,073 are leased up in the community with an improved leasing rate of 95%. Our budget authority utilization is 125.85%, meaning we're spending more than we are earning from HUD. Tempe's average per unit cost is $1,432.30, and that's a $170 increase in per unit cost average since a year ago in October of 23. So let's take a closer look at our budget authority spend. As of May and June, many housing authorities, including the Tempe Housing Authority, were projected to spend more than they earned from HUD, and this is called shortfall. And as you can see from the blue highlighted, Tempe's budgeted utilization is at a little over 125%. The Tempe Housing Authority effectively went into actual shortfall in the month of November. And it can be attributed to two primary reasons. One is those per unit costs that keep going up because of the market rates for rent, and also increases in household size, household losses of income, et cetera. So by the way, over the last several years, HUD has set aside money for these, to anticipate these particular scenarios. And at the end of November, HUD did award the Tempe Housing Authority $1.2 million, a little bit in excess of that, $1.2 million to cover the shortfall. On to leasing. So this graph at the top left of the slide shows how we compare nationally in our leasing. The national line is black and our performance is in teal. You will see that we're outperforming the national average. Taking your attention to the top right of the slide, during this reporting cycle, we have 1,073 vouchers that are leased up in the community. Our attrition rate, or our voucher turnover rate, is a little below 10% over the last 12 months. And we have 23 families who have elected to move or port to another jurisdiction with a Tempe voucher, and 22 participants who have moved or ported here from another jurisdiction. The graph at the bottom of the slide is a visual representation of the number of vouchers that are on the street, referring to a family that was issued a voucher by the Housing Authority and has yet to find a unit and execute a contract with us. So because we're in shortfall, HUD has instructed us not to lease up any new vouchers in our community. So as you can see, we have very few vouchers that are seeking a unit right now. This slide compares Tempe's performance with the average performance of all Arizona housing authorities. Tempe's on the left and Arizona is on the right. If I may turn your attention to the blue highlight, you'll see our leasing performance compared to the balance of state. Ideally, all of us housing authorities would be in the 95 to 98 percentile. Arizona as a collective has a little ways to go, but Tempe's achieved 95% leased, and we did that months ago. So if I may turn your attention to the green highlight, our annual attrition rate or voucher turnover rate is a little above 10%, while the balance of state is close to 11. Both are normal and healthy ranges. So for additional updates, as I mentioned, we are in shortfall. And so in this case, we've increased our leasing rates, and our average per unit costs have gone up, and a number of other factors. And we've, again, been instructed to suspend issuing new vouchers. As for a staffing update, I'd like to tell you that Wendy Reyes Valdiva has joined our housing division as our new family self-sufficiency specialist. So she brings over 10 years of experience in working with families and individuals in support of their economic stability, and we're really excited to have her on board. It took us a minute to fill that position. It's hard out there. Waitlist management. So at least once annually, the Tempe Housing Authority must reach out to everyone who is on our wait list and confirm their interest in remaining on the wait list. We completed this confirmation update, and approximately 1,400 applicants remain on the list out of 2,300. So quite a few folks fell off. If anyone's out there's listening and you were unable to respond to our multiple pleas for you to confirm your interest in our wait list, and you are still interested, yet we've taken you off, please reach out to my office and we can get that turned around for you. I did want to let you know that our Family Self-Sufficiency Grant has been renewed to the tune of about a little in excess of $96,000 for the year. And I did want to let you know that I heard you wanted to see some program demographics. That is included in your packet.
Thank you.
I did want to let you know that our Community Development Block Grant Consolidated Plan, that plan building is underway right now. This plan will help us to assess our affordable housing and community development needs and market conditions, and help us to make those data-driven, place-based investment decisions. So we in the Housing Division, we're in the throes of updating this plan. Input from the community as a whole, as well as key stakeholders, is valuable to us in building this plan. And so we have had multiple community meetings. I did want to let folks know that another round of feedback will be underway in March and April. So more information to come on that. And then also, I'm pleased to share with you that we will host another landlord mixer on Wednesday, April 16th. The event, again, will focus on our Housing Choice Voucher Program features. We'll provide updates to our programming, and we hope to build and strengthen relationships with our current landlord partners and woo some new ones. And finally, on behalf of the Tempe Coalition for Affordable Housing, as our board president, in your board materials is our January 2025 board packet. This report includes financial and portfolio performance, and I do need to let you know that we had to amend the portfolio performance pages associated with our housing in our report, and so please be mindful that you have pages that are different than what was originally submitted. And if you have any questions, of course, after reading it, you may reach out to me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. That concludes my overview, and I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Irma. Let me go to Councilmember Hodge, then Councilmember Adams.
Thank you so much. You know, I always appreciate your presentations, and thank you for doing a phenomenal job within the city. That, you know, we're actually doing so great that we're doing actually better than the state. So thank you. My question is about retention. When we talk about people losing or getting off, what is the main cause or reason? Is it because they move off because they want to, that 9.78? Is that more of them losing it, or is it more of them, you know, moving on and getting you know, other housing that they don't need it anymore?
Thank you for your question, Councilmember Hodge, Council members, Mayor Woods. So the attrition number is made up of a number of factors. One, folks often pass away on our program. We have a lot of seniors on our program, and so we do oftentimes lose our participants to their passing. Also, folks may be, and it's not very frequently, I'm going to say maybe 1 or 2 a month, fall off the program due to a fraudulent aspect of being on the program. So for example, maybe they move people into their unit that are not on the lease, or income has come into the household that hasn't been reported, things like that. Or even, being a nuisance in your community or eviction lands you off of our program. Of course.
Thank you. Councilmember Adams?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was wondering if you could go back to the slide that compared Tempe to Arizona, the percentage of, it was back like, or there, that's it, I think, yes. So I just want to point out that this is a very impressive statistic. When you have 95%, 0.45% leased versus Arizona at only 90%, Tempe's doing a lot right, and we have stats to prove it. And sometimes we have people, complain that we're not doing enough, but we are doing, I believe, everything that we can, and we're going to continue to do that and try to house the unsheltered. And you're doing a great job. And so I really appreciate you and your hard work, and keep up the great work. And thanks for bringing us the stats. I love seeing the stats, and then I assume that you're going to present a plan in the future about how to maintain the sustainability of this situation.
It's something that keeps me up at night. Thank you, Councilmember Adams.
Thank you. Me too, actually. Thank you.
And Councilmember Hodge, I should have mentioned also, we also have a number of people who become income ineligible, and we congratulate them from graduating on our program. So, thank you.
Vice Mayor Garland?
I just want to say that I'm glad you're having the landlord event again. Could you share that information one more time? Because it was an incredible event that you did the first time. I appreciate you and Christopher putting that together. It was just the most amazing thing. And I talked to so many people afterwards, and they said they were so glad that they came. They learned so much about taking somebody in. So can you share that again?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Vice Mayor Garland. So on April 16th, we will hold our second landlord mixer since I've been here. I have to give big, giant kudos to Christopher and other members on our team who put their, blood and sweat and tears into making this a non-traditional but very, very effective event. I don't know if anyone's had the chance or opportunity to attend maybe other jurisdictions' landlord events or even landlord events that were held in the past, but this one was profoundly progressive. It really did allow for the opportunity for mixing and mingling and getting to know potential landlords. And talk about the great work that we're doing at the Tempe Housing Authority, and how we can be a tremendous partner to our private market landlords. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Hodge?
I just want to let you know that the last one we went to, we had one person brought a friend with them, and it's I know the person. They actually put their houses on after that. So it not only was it a great event, it was successful because they put 2 houses on the Section 8 program after that event. So,
And every home counts.
yes, it does.
Excellent. Thank you. Councilmember Amberg?
So this is kind of an off-the-wall question. I was just wondering, so this is the quarterly update from December 31st, whether or not you've been talking to your contacts and folks in the federal government as to what they kind of anticipate the next quarter is going to be with the turnover in the administration.
Thank you, Councilmember Amberg. So with the first meetings of a number of industry associations that I belong to, we will be meeting either in January or February. So us as a collective have not had an opportunity to meet. What I can tell you is for the first 2 months of this year, we have already been allocated our funds to keep up with our programming. But quite frankly, we anticipate, more business as usual from the current administration, and really that's where we have to live until we learn otherwise.
Yes, please.
That's a great question, Councilmember Amberg. I just want to say that I was reading something today from the National League of Cities. Their Federal Advocacy Committee has already been gathering and looking at what we need to do to work with the incoming administration and with the fundings and what the funding will look like on all fronts. When we get that information, I'll make sure we share that with you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. All right. Any further comments or questions? All right. Seeing none. Thank you, Irma. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on this agenda is item 5, which is adjournment. The next Tempe Housing Authority meeting is scheduled for April 10th, 2025. We are adjourned, and we will start the regular council meeting in 8 minutes. Thank you.